first time speaking, and I'm nervous as no other. I want a little bit more excitement. Please. Good morning.
Good morning.
There we go. Welcome to the Restoration Fellowship Church in the Men's Breakfast. As you know, my name is David Aubrey. I work with Mindful Echoes, my company, trying to make a difference in this world, one step at a time. And how I do that is with motivational speaking and poetry. That's what I do, to try to make a difference in this world. But the biggest thing as I do is I'm trying to live a legacy worth people looking up to. That's my biggest goal, is to have people looking up to my legacy. In front of you, you guys have some questions. We're not going to break up in groups. You guys can answer them as we go. If I miss something on those questions, by all means speak up, because I'm all over the place probably. The first question that we have is, who here knows where legacies are written? I'm going to take a few answers.
In the mind.
That's a good one. Anybody else?
In relationship.
What was it? In relationships?
Yeah.
That's a good one. Anybody else?
In our daily lives.
That's a good one too. The biggest places where legacy is written is the graveyard. Because you have no longer any control of your legacy. You can't take any more actions towards that. It is no longer in your hands once you go 6 feet under. Your second question is, I'm not going to take any answers this time. What will be your legacy? And for example, Pastor Jay, his legacy might be bring as many people to the Lord as possible. Mine is to help as many people as possible to live a more positive life. And for some, it could be as simple as be a good father, be a good husband. But like I said, the scariest part of your legacy, you can't write it. You cannot write your legacy. That's impossible. And I'll explain why later on. The benefit of thinking about your legacy, it keeps you motivated to your daily task, to how you live with your relationships, how you affect people. It also helps you to be your best, to look at your life and expect the best out of yourself. And finally, is to change the world. I have a video we're going to watch, and then we will continue on with the speech.
Caesar. Tell me again, Maximus, why are we here? For the glory of the Empire, sire. Oh, yeah. Oh, yes, I remember. Do you see that map, Maximus? That is the world which I created. For 25 years, I have conquered, spilled blood, expanded the Empire. Since I became Caesar, I've known 4 years without war. 4 years of peace in 20. For what? I brought the sword. Nothing more. Caesar, your life, please. Please don't call me that. Come. Please. Come sit. Let us talk together now. Very simply, as men. Well, Maximus, talk. I've seen much of the rest of the world. It is brutal and cruel and dark. Rome is the light. Yet you have never been there. You have not seen what it has become. I am dying, Maximus. When a man sees his end, he wants to know there was some purpose to his life. How will the world speak my name in years to come? Will I be known as the philosopher, the warrior, the tyrant? Or will I be the emperor who gave Rome back her true self?
When you leave this world, do you know what you want your legacy to be? Even the great emperor Caesar did not even know that. You can't know that. You could hope to know that and wish to know that, but it is impossible for you to know that. So you have to think about some of these questions. And like Caesar said, like Caesar said, will people know your name? Will people know what you did with your life? How you lived your life? And what you stood for? These are kind of the things that you need to think about when you are trying to write your legacy. When you can write your legacy is during the time that you were born to the time you die. That is when you can write your legacy. That's the only time. Do you know what can change your legacy? Like I said before, you can't write your legacy. But the actions that you take in your life are the things that can change your legacy. How you talk to people, your relationships with people, how you treat people are the only things, or the main things that you can take to change your legacy. By the people that you live with, how you affect them, the people in your life, the people who are left behind in your life, those people are going to be the ones writing your legacy. So if you leave a negative legacy or a negative memory with other people, you're going to have a negative legacy. If you leave positive messages, positive influences on other people, you're going to leave a positive and impactful legacy on people. Live your life with your legacy in mind. Meaning, every time you have an interaction with anybody, think about that, how that interaction is going to affect them 10 years later. Can you have an impact on them at that moment? Live your life like it's your last day on earth. Because if it is last day on your earth, you can't write your legacy anymore. You have no more effect on it. Always remember, tomorrow is not guaranteed. It ties in with live each day like it's your last. The better that you focus on that, the more you're going to make an influence and change people's lives. Which leads me into this little segue that I have here, is yesterday is gone and has been written. Tomorrow has yet to come and isn't promised. Today is now and is the time for your legacy. So in conclusion, know what you want your legacy to be. Your actions your actions are the only thing that can write your legacy. And live today like your legacy will be sealed tomorrow. Now, I got a challenge for you guys. It's a pretty simple challenge, but it's a difficult challenge. These strips of paper that you have on your table, I want you to write down what you want your legacy to be on this piece of paper. Okay? And on that piece of paper, whatever you write down on it, you need to say it every morning when you wake up. You need to say it every evening before you go to bed. And then following that, you need to start taking actions to whatever you write on this paper. Do it for 1 month. If you do it for 1 month and you see any kind of changes in your life by doing whatever you write on this piece of paper, saying it every day and every night, come talk to me. I want to hear about it. Because I really feel like that is a thing that you can start doing and changing your life. But I want you guys to challenge you guys to do that. Do it for a month and come get a hold of me. I'll give you my number if you desire to. Email, whatever you like, I will give it to you. So, I challenge you guys to live your legacy very strong. I pass it off to Scott.